Now, these are my Archon shards. They are irrelevant to the build, but I'm going to show them to you anyway, so that way you know for a fact they are irrelevant to the build. These are my Warframe Arcanes. I really like Arcane Acceleration because I love high rate of fire weapons. I really do. It is unnecessary, however, and it still feels good without this. And there is also room for a fire rate mod on the Kuva Hind. So, flex slot, flex slot. Here is my pet. Normal build. You can screenshot it if you like. Here's the Hellstrom. I just have a basic primer set up. Here's the Riven. There you go. Now on to the main course. So I was using one of two builds for the showcase here. This is the first build. As you can see, we have Primary Deadhead for Primary Deadhead reasons. Vigilante Supplies, more so for the crit chance bonus that it has. We have Corrosive and Blast. We have Primary Acuity and Galvanized Scope for a bunch of crit chance. Base damage, fire rate, and punch through. Which, this as it stands, without Arcane Acceleration, does good stuff. It is very solid. Now, what I'm going to say next is, it's very preferential. I know that Primary Acuity can bust out some ludicrous numbers, right? Like, I'm very well aware. I personally prefer multi-shot setups, because the Infested are much more difficult to headshot. Significantly more so. Tech Rot are a lot better about it, but if you're not going to spend your entire time in Holvania, you know, it's just, that part's just annoying to me. And then of course the Grineer, whenever you don't have their attention, are nearly impossible to get a headshot on unless you're jumping over and in front of every single one. And, you know, not quite for me, but obviously, Primary Acuity with a good setup is phenomenal. I'm very well aware of that. But the multi-shot setup was slaying, basically about as hard as the Primary Acuity setup. Which, I'm also going to add that Rhyme Rounds, if you don't want Corrosive and Blast, you can just take Rhyme Rounds out. And then you got Corrosive and Heat, which, by the way, I do apologize, I forgot to show you, I have a Heat Valence bonus. So, Corrosive and Blast is a lot easier for me to achieve, but you can take Rhyme Rounds out for a magnetic mod, more crit damage, even more fire rate if you want. You know, truly, the Rhyme Rounds is the flex mod slot, if you're gonna go with this, specifically. As with all of my builds, use them as a template. This is just a place for you guys to start. Now, for this build that I enjoy more so, we have, basically, the same setup. Except, I didn't have room for a fire rate mod because of Galvanized Aptitude. But Galvanized Aptitude does help quite a bit, even being additive. I think it's still additive, because it is a hit scan weapon. You can check on that later. But this is a Corrosive Blast build for all of the multi-shot. And the reason that I was running Arcane Acceleration. If you just want Corrosive and Heat, and you have a Heat Valence bonus, you can take out the Prime Cryo rounds, and put your Prime Shred there, if you want, but this is basically it, just Corrosive and Blast as a setup. Now, I will add that this rifle is solid. I like how it feels, I like how it runs. It is just a simple rifle that works. It just does its job. Nothing flashy, nothing crazy. Its beauty is in its simplicity. I have another substitution though. One more, so if you just want to run Corrosive and Heat on either the multi-shot build or the Primary Acuity build, you can either take out Rhyme Rounds or Prime Cryo rounds and put Radiated Reload, or just whatever reload mod you want, because it does have a 2.3 second reload. Now, because it has 90 rounds in the mag, I don't care about that. It doesn't bother me so much because I'm not really reloading like super often. But if that is going to bother you, that's what you can use a flex slot for. And that's it. That's the build, guys. The two Primary Acuity builds. Let's see, what was in C? Oh yeah, I had, that's what I had. And here's this as well. If you wanted to run this with Primary Acuity, you could also just swap out the Acuity for Crit Delay. Bing bong boom, you got that for extra variety. But like I said, there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope this information is going to help you to enjoy this weapon a lot more. One final thing before I end the video, I am gonna basically start treating YouTube kind of like, I don't know how to put it, but the quickest way I can say is kind of like a social media platform only, in the sense of like giving you guys updates and stuff like that through the community posts, or just straight up uploading some of the stuff that I'm doing in the game, making the build. And you know, I do want to start engaging more that way. I've just been trying to find the time and the energy to balance this with my full-time job, so, you know, I'm getting there. But I am going to have a poll on what weapon you guys want to see built next. So, be on the lookout for that. After this is uploaded, I'll have a poll for that in the community post stuff. So, I'll be seeing you guys there. Have a good day, a good night, and may RNG be in our favor.